everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all a little more inebriated and ready for Amy Lawless, who's reading next. Yeah. And again, Mariana's written something beautiful for me to read, and she writes, Amy's poems make me want to buy some cheese, make some bread, and pack this little assortment along with a blanket and take all of these things to a vast high grass field. There in the field I would lay my head and ask someone to read her poems aloud to me. First of all, there is nothing so sublime as to be read aloud to, and second, Amy's poems are great on the page, but I want to hear them out loud so I can lose my mind in every one of her lines. Each line cultivates a tender little piece of the story. Her poems are earnest without being pushy, just a quiet nudge to take an hour and read. Her poems do exactly what I want poetry to do, which is to push me to find newness in words that I have grown comfortable with over the years. As a poet, words become a long-time lover. You get comfortable and you need to be shocked, woken up. Amy's poems wake me up, gently. Take these lines, for instance. It is now almost time for your nap, Muhammad. I'm on the edge, I know. Muhammad should get to sit in his recliner. He would be easily photographed like that, chillin' with his legs up, and you'd think, oh wow, he must watch some pretty good TV. Please welcome Amy Lawless.
Thanks, that was very lovely. I'm so excited to read with Dan Hoy, one of my all-time dreams, in fact. I'm going to read 2 poems, and then I'm going to read from my chapbook that just came out. This poem was sort of a Valentine. I don't know why. Because I'm so fucking alone. This is not about love, it's about laughing. I have no man to flip over onto his back at night to beat into a slow death. I secretly steal a glance at myself in a mirror after I meet or talk to a guy I flirt with, just so I can, for a moment, imagine him looking at me. I yearn for perspective. This lens is continually appealing and interesting. I will never know what it's like to be you, but I can sympathize and empathize and play a game called If I Were in Your Shoes. One day some rando asked me why I'm so funny. It all comes down to fast, slow, fast, slow. When someone crushes into giggles at something I say, I win. Life isn't about winning, but if it were, I won. I think women are ridiculously funny when they tell the truth. I love to tell the truth. The truth includes the mechanics of flawed human bodies. My body is all I have. The truth includes acknowledging the fast, slow, and retarded spit coming out of your mouth when you talk too excitedly. Don't email me a photo of your penis. By fast, slow, I mean we're all gonna die. We each have so many moments of heartbreaking solitude. It breaks my heart. Let's be fast when we're together because the slow of it will come. Then the slows will all pile onto themselves like a multi-car crash. Survivor. It looked like the end of the world. After you die, do you want to be known for slows? After you die, you won't be able to know what you're known for. Get a life. I want fast. No, not like boys want speed. When I make people laugh, I topple them over. Epiglottis constricts the larynx. One day I may topple you too. Nutcrackers line up neat in a row. Whenever I think of Nutcrackers, I think of Robert Pinsky's face, because he has these lines that are like... This is from a series called One Way to Write a Sonnet is to Number the Lines. And there was something that I later found out that, well, when I read it again, when I first wrote it, there was something that could have been anti-Semitic, and I'm not an anti-Semite, so I had to edit it.
Thank you.
Thanks for telling us.
One way to give back to the previous generation is to allow Elizabeth Barrett Browning to act as a wick, but yet hang liberally to her cake. When learning how to drive, the instructor said to me, "You're not getting laid now, are you?" Well, he was right, I wasn't putting out. For my sake, stop holding the wheel too tight. Though ungrateful at the time, I was indeed poverty-stricken. He saw how often I cried and held tight. He put the pillow under my head and held the brake pedal when necessary. And this is how to make a three-point turn, and this is how to tell black from white and red from orange. This is the method of falling asleep on a couch in a state of safety, and this is falling asleep alone, weeping in fear. Colors will make a better blanket than the daily news. The colors will be steps to climb, but better than just falling asleep in front of the TV in cases of tiredness. Proceed, walk, climb, drive. This is called living. And then I'm just going to read from my chapbook. It's called Elephants in Mourning, and I don't have any copies for you, because I know you don't want to buy one anyway, but if you were, too bad, because I ran out of them, and the people won't reply to my emails. Well, they're like hackers in Detroit. I don't think they know about, like, New York, like, right back to an email. Okay. They're doing coke somewhere in Detroit right now. And they could give a shit about whether I have chapbooks. Okay. Elephants in mourning. Elephants come across an elephant carcass in the wild. They gather in a defensive circle around the bones and rotted flesh. They pick up a bone and another bone. They rub the bones with their trunks. They touch each bone with a hind foot. They investigate each part of the body, put the bone in the mouth like a cigarette, and looks like it's smoking it. For a moment I feel like I'm watching detectives gnawing on a new case. Oh my god, this is being recorded. This means something. I've been just saying some wild shit, that's all I'm saying. This means something. One day my matter will return to the land. The water in my body disperses and isn't replaced with new tap water. Let's all drink to the death of a clown. The water will go into leaves. What can I leave here? There was a ritual, and now she is gone. Visit remains. Basically, this chapbook is what happens when you go off of Lexapro. When an elephant dies, the lover will approach and stand there seemingly clueless about what to do. When an elephant dies, he tries to necessitate the other elephant. This is called searching for meaning. When a person dies, a person who spent $100,000 on medical school will confirm that something is gone. Spirit, animus, Evelyn, something left the room. And now here is matter. Calories of energy, rotted DNA, hair thinned. Once the oxygen hits, it will be red. Once my grandmother told me that if a needle got into my bloodstream, it would pierce my heart and I'd die. This made no sense, but her passion convinced me. I feared needles. Why couldn't I have been encouraged to be bold? Why was I encouraged to be afraid? When an elephant dies, the lover takes the body and rolls it over and over. When an elephant is dead, it lies in a way that living elephants cannot. When an elephant dies, he takes the body and rolls it over. He scrolls his trunk and pulls his head back. Some call that honor, but it looks like someone who wants religion for a minute. He does not X out the window. He is someone who wants to be told there is something else. There is nothing else. When an elephant dies, you want to be immediately pregnant so you can feel the huge cessation of earth life while stroking your own belly and its hugeness. When an elephant dies, they are all emotionally affected, and you are emotionally affected unless you have a condition, or you were born that way, or you have Alzheimer's. Elephants are known for their memories, but you've been surfing the internet and not paying attention. You've been watching TV, eating candy, and texting jokes with your best friend. You're also cooking a batch of cookies. Pay attention, pay attention. I'm only going to say this once. When an elephant dies, you immediately want to hug everyone around you. But first put the bone in your mouth and feel around for clues. Was it a violent death? Was it natural? Yell something hurtful to your brother because he isn't even putting his hind legs against the edge of the dried skin area of the head. He's still smelling it with his tusk. If you say something slightly hurtful to your brother, he'll stop slacking off with the smell segment, which is an overrated line of analysis. We find the most important diagnostic cues by hindfoot tapping and tasting. My wife made a trumpet noise, so at least she clearly gives a shit. This is my daughter's first dead body. This is how it's done, sweetie. We're gonna find out who did this to this poor woman. Time did this. Watch me kill time. When an elephant dies, please don't eat chips in the corner after a 5-hour-long wake, because the daughter will take her trunk and beat you with verbs and nouns. When an elephant dies, sometimes the remaining elephants become distressed, because there's no evidence of an afterlife. People like the word faith. Elephants don't. Sometimes a slew of elephants die and you're dealing with what is called a massacre. When 3,000 die, maybe you just have to watch a movie. It reminds me of biology class in 11th grade. The combination of math and chemistry were too much and boy, I gave up. Mourning a grandfather is one thing. Mourning 3,000 someone's child is too much, but we do it anyway by watching some DVD until it's over and then letting it sit on the coffee table for a week until you can get out of bed and look at it, not recognizing that this cultural artifact will always be the thing I did instead of watched news that day in September. If anybody's wondering, that DVD was Dude, Where's My Car? I'm going to read just the last poem from the chapbook now. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so delighted. It sounded horrible. I'm very delighted. Thank you, Lungful. Not Lungfish. When my uncle died, his sons put objects in his casket to be buried with him, like photographs and baseball memorabilia. This bothered me because the living need these items to remember him. He can't turn on the overhead light in his casket, turn his neck, and tap a photo of his wife before saying goodnight. Thank you.